everyone, and welcome to the Homeless Person Memorial. I'm Serena Dorset. I'm the Houseless Operations Specialist for the City of Missoula, and I also chair the Homeless Persons Memorial Committee. I'd like to thank you all for joining us today to remember those that passed away this year while experiencing houselessness. They have touched many lives, and they are missed. I'd like to begin by inviting our Indigenous singers up to start us off with an honor song.
My name is Benji Hetzworth. I represent the Northern Cheyenne tribe.
Hello, Oki Nistuni Donigu. My name is Sean Whitegrass. I'm Blackfeet from Browning, Montana.
Hello everyone, my name is Brittany Hunter. I'm Hopi in the outside.
Thank you.
Thank you all for sharing that with us. Next up, Commissioner Juanita Barrow would like to say a few words.
Yes, I'm Commissioner Juanita Barrow, one of your three Missoula County Commissioners. Let's come a little closer if you're comfortable. Come a little closer. And maybe if you're standing, take a moment to feel the ground support you. And if you're not standing, maybe feel the air on your cheeks. Let's take a moment. It's a winter solstice, and this is a time of reflection, remembrance, and storytelling. This is a time for storytelling. It's also a time when we can let go of that which no longer serves us. It's a time of hope, and also a time for welcoming the light. And Mayor Davis couldn't be here with us tonight, but she's here in spirit. And I also have Missoula City County proclamation to share with you. So if you can't hear, come a little closer. So that there's so much noise on Broadway there. So
You're good.
okay, here we go. Now I also can't see. But whereas the winter poses extreme hardship for unsheltered and inadequately housed individuals, families, and children in Missoula. Whereas residents of Missoula will gather on the longest night of the year, December 21st, 2023, to honor and remember homeless individuals who have died in our community and environs. And whereas since 1990, December 21st has been designated National Homeless Persons Memorial Day by the National Coalition for the Humanities and the National Healthcare for the Homeless Council, and is recognized by cities and states nationwide. And whereas in remembering those who have died without a house of their own, we keep urgent the cause of ending homelessness, the need for compassionate response, and the city and county's collective commitment to prevent such deaths in the future. Now therefore be it resolved. We, the Missoula Board of County Commissioners, and Andrea Davis, Mayor of the City of Missoula, do hereby recognize the 21st day of December 2023 as Homeless Persons Memorial Day. And now, Councilwoman Gwen Jones.
Thank you everyone for coming tonight. I'll try and speak loudly. I was thinking on what I should say tonight, and I thought back to this summer. One day I was walking my dogs in the afternoon down by the river by McCormick Park, and there was a gentleman who was clearly unhoused, who was laying on a blanket sleeping, and he had his gatherings around him. And about 20 or 30 minutes later, as I looped back, there were a lot of emergency vehicles there, and clearly things weren't good. And then I heard later that day that in fact he had died. And I don't know if he had a family. I don't know if he had friends. He was living in Missoula. He was unhoused. I don't know if anyone was ever contacted, or if they were able to do that. But I am glad that I live in a city where we have this every year, because he deserves to be remembered, to be honored in this memorial, as all of the folks who have passed this last year who were unhoused do. So I'm glad that we have this. And thank you everyone for coming out on this warm December evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Now, if Claire Bach could come up. Thank you, Claire.
Hi everyone, welcome and thank you for coming to the annual Homeless Persons Memorial. We are gathered tonight on the land of the Salish and Kalispel people. We recognize that the history of the land contributes to housing insecurity and homelessness, and we aim every day to reconcile what was lost through colonization and displacement. This is a sad event, probably one of the things I like least about my job, but it gives me a lot of hope to see all of you here and to know that we are not alone in our grief. My name is Claire, and I'm the Director of Shelter Services for the Poverello Center. I've been with the POV for nearly 8 years and can tell you, honestly, that working here or there provides a lot of laughs, some high highs, and some very low lows. When a guest dies, we lose a family member and a friend, and this year there are 24 friends on that list. Tonight, I'd like to talk about 3 of them. Earlier this year, I was interviewed by the Missoulian about a guest I'd become close to. His name was Marty, Mr. Martin Sowens, and his story was long, complicated, and sometimes hard to hear. But through the process of working with the Missoulian, I had the chance to meet some of his sisters who helped me better understand the story of Marty's life. It makes me extremely sad to know that Marty died unsheltered and in public when he was only weeks away from moving into an apartment. He was loved deeply by his sisters, his community, and by Poverello Center staff. Just like everyone we will memorialize tonight, Marty mattered because of his impact on people around him, and I hope his story underscores for us all the sense of urgency there is to house people so that they can live and die with dignity. Another guest we lost this year is Philip Many Hides. Philip was an uncle, brother, cousin, and friend to many. He was a dedicated advocate for Blackfeet tribal members and to Indigenous people more broadly. When I last saw him, he was determined to facilitate a Native American talking circle at the shelter to promote healing for Indigenous guests. Unfortunately, he was unable to realize that goal because on October 21st, he was here at this courthouse visiting with friends and encountered neo-Nazis and white supremacists. Among other things, they called him racial slurs and told him to go back to Browning. Later that day, Philip, angry and intoxicated, suffered a head injury and died. I feel very angry and find it deeply unfair that some of the last things Philip heard in his life confirmed his worst fears about our community and the world. And I hope that his experience that night demonstrates to us all the connection between racial equity, housing, and health. Lastly, I must mention Grizz, a little bit of a local celebrity, and you may have noticed him around town, flying a sign on the pedestrian bridge, visiting with friends, eating hot dogs here at the courthouse, a short round, or watching a football game at his secret spot on Mount Sentinel. Grizz lived unsheltered for many years, and when he first came inside, he would only sleep on the cold basement floor of the old pub. Eventually, he agreed to try a bed, and then moved into an apartment at Valor House, where he had case management. He reminds me of the transformative power of community, and he loved this town. So thank you for helping me remember him tonight. Every year, the Poverello serves in one way or another almost 2,000 people. And as we look towards 2024, we hope to keep as many people as possible safe and continue moving towards housing for all. To get there, we at the POV pledge to provide food, shelter, help, and hope to all who ask, and to look at each person who walks through our door as a light in our community. Thank you again for being here, for joining us to honor the people we lost this year, and for your commitment to our community. I want to introduce Courtney Arneson.
Good evening, neighbors and friends. We gather at the beginning of the longest night of the year to speak the names of those who died while unhoused. We gather in the cold, or not so cold as it is this year, to remember our neighbors and our friends. We gather on the winter solstice as a threshold moment of the seasons to recognize the threshold from life to death. My name is Courtney Arneson, and I am a community chaplain here in Missoula, and I am grateful to be with you all again this year. Tonight we gather to give thanks for the many lives. We recognize how these fellow Missoulians impacted and changed our neighborhoods and our lives. Some that we honor tonight were siblings, others were parents, aunts or uncles, mentors, and all of them were someone's child. Each person we will name tonight began in the darkness of a womb, and so it is fitting that we gather to name them in the darkness of this night. Some that we will mention tonight were on the brink of new possibilities in housing and health. Others encouraged us along our way of recovery, reminding us that any relapse could be our last. Tonight we remember friends that we will continue to remember every time we smell their favorite blueberry tea or we wear their favorite color. We will remember them when we eat Cracker Jacks or play a game of cribbage. We will remember their laughter and their tears. We will remember them as artists and as comics and storytellers. We remember how they shuffled along the streets or rolled along from place to place, how they hummed a tune all day long. We remember how they were willing to run to the gas station for a fellow guest or an errand for someone else.
We remember the jokes they told, appropriate and inappropriate. We remember how they talked about their children and how they laughed and how the spark in their eye would light up at the mention of them. And we remember how many faithfully served this country. Tonight we gather to remember their pride in the accomplishments they accomplished, the tasks that they accomplished, and their grief that they shared in their physical ailments. We gather to remember that some remained at the Poverello among a family that they had chosen. We remember their smiles and the sparks of joy that lived with them. We also gather tonight to remember how they died. Some after long illnesses, others unexpectedly and through tragic and heart-wrenching circumstances. Some took control of how they died because they could not control anything else. Many died too young. All of them died friends of some. Tonight, on the longest night of the year, we gather in the early darkness and we feel the pain and the hurts of the world as we gather to this specific pain and this specific grief. And tonight, many of us will light candles or LED lights to show us that even here, the dark night, there will be light. Light will continue to shine. We defy it by declaring that light comes in the morning. We, the community of Missoula, acknowledge the night and say it will not overwhelm us. And we join together into night. So let us take a moment of stillness or prayer, if that is your practice, as we prepare to hear the names of those who died. I invite you, no matter what your practice is, to look up at the night, to look at the faces of those who are gathered, to be present in this space. And if you are comfortable, you may close your eyes. But let us gather and let us entrust our friends and our neighbors into the care of Creator, of the one who has many names. And so we come to you, O one who has many names, and tonight we remember all who had a song to sing that cannot sing any longer. We lift before you those who wait for loved ones and friends who will not come. We remember those who are misunderstood and for the many who just misunderstand. Show us the way, for we are a people walking in the night. Your love for us is everlasting. Remind us that love outlasts life as we remember those with love who died this year. For it is the brightest star can still shine on this darkest night. And you promise the hope of dawn. In the gathering, may we be in the peace of this presence. May we entrust into the everlasting care those members of our community. Receive them into eternal rest from the hardships of life. Cover them with the warmth of mercy. Fill them with peace that we cannot understand. Envelop them in love that does not end in death. And in doing so, may we too be enveloped in this love that continues from life to death. This is what we ask, that in the darkness there be a blessing, in the shadow there be a welcome, that in this night we can be encompassed by the love that knows our name. This we offer to you, the one who has many names, which include the pain bearer and the life giver. Amen.
Thank you so much for your beautiful words, Courtney. Now I'd like to invite the homeless outreach team up. They're going to do a reading of the names of those that have passed away.
After each name, we're going to say, "We will remember you." Nicole Linder.
We will remember you.
Brian Lunchbox Thompson.
We will remember you. Elliot Revel. We will remember you.
Terry Cover.
We will remember you.
Robert Seal.
We will remember you.
Chad Hyatt.
We will remember you.
Randy Grizz Ingram, veteran. We
We
will
will
remember you.
remember you.
Glenn Harley Stevens.
We will remember you.
Martin Sowens.
We will
We will
remember
remember
you.
you.
Alan Wilson, veteran.
We will remember you. Gordon Eddie Livingston, veteran.
We will remember you.
Joan Schmaltz.
We will remember you.
Chuck Doyle, veteran.
We will remember you.
John Worrell, veteran.
We will
We will
remember
remember
you.
you.
David Ritter. We will remember you.
Philip Minihai.
We will remember you.
Deborah Keith.
We will remember you.
Dean Hoover.
We will remember you. Casey Doney.
We will remember you.
Anthony Slater.
We will remember you.
Remember you.
Patrick Shamori, veteran.
We will
We will
remember you.
remember you.
Nefertri Bartel.
We will
We will
remember you.
remember you.
Justin Tall White Man.
We
will
will
remember
remember
you.
you.
All right, we're going to close out the night with Riley James singing Amazing Grace. But thank you all for being here tonight and remembering those that have passed.
Hello.
There he is.
Hello everyone, my name is Riley James Jacobson. I'm the Housing Support Specialist at the Poverello Center. And if you feel moved to join me, why don't we lift our voices up in remembrance of those who have passed away this year and show them some love. How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Many dangers, toils, and snares I have already was grace that brought me safe as far, and grace will lead me home.
you.